Hello again. My name is Myat. So currently, I'm working at Lomotif company as a senior software engineer in the company based in Singapore. In case you don't know Lomotif, so we do social video remixing app with over 150 million downloads and consistent appears in the top charts of the App Store's photo and video category in Brazil's and the US respectively. So our app is popular in Brazil's, Portugal, and Russia. So mostly I've been working on migrating to latest technologies in the application architecture, some of the features like music player and video editing, and currently teaching myself MAD, modern Android development. Okay. Android has officially support Kotlin since 2017, and there is a good reason Kotlin. For those who have not looked at Kotlin before, uh, I will be a brief overview for Kotlin development. So first of all language takes care a lot of boilerplate code, um, allowing the developer to spare more time focusing on the business at hand and the safer code. And Kotlin is a strong type system, so which helps to prevent runtime issues like null pointer exceptions, and then the string format issues. And then it's help you 20% less likely to crashes. For us as an Android developer, have been writing our apps using Java programming language for many years, and there is a well of existing library readings in Java. So it will be hard to get started with Kotlin without seamless interoperability with the programming language. So for those things, no worries. Kotlin is 100% supports interoperable with Java programming language, so which means allowing for a progressive adoption of Kotlin into Java existing projects. Structure concurrency. And if you are still not convinced that Kotlin is a great fit on Android, so Coroutines provide an elegant way to do this synchronous programming. Kotlin saves us from a lot of callback health. Um, Meanwhile, Kotlin solves one of the most difficult problems developers usually face when we writing Android apps. In over 16% of the professional Android developers are using Kotlin for their code base. And more than 18% of top 1K apps on the Google Play Store also using Kotlin code. Okay, here is a question. Um, Google continues to support Kotlin for an Android development. So Google formed a foundation for Kotlin to ensure the languages work together with JetBrains, and Google has a team of engineers contributing to Kotlin compiler as their full-time job. So Google currently focusing on helping to get the new IR backend and front-end compilers also. They've been working on building Kotlin-related tooling, such as Kotlin KSB, Kotlin symbol processing. You will learn more about the Kotlin KSB in the talk later. Google have been improving the way teaching Kotlin on Android and created and update the documents and ensuring that the symbols are in Kotlin as well. Create a couple of code lab to help you to learn Kotlin, and there are articles and lots of articles and videos are targeting all levels of developer experience and familiarity with the Kotlin, to be more familiar with the Kotlin. So this is an overview of Kotlin supports in Android. So for the library side, Kotlin first libraries, which means such as paging and Jetpack Compose. The paging libraries helps you load and display the pages of data from a larger data set, which is from local storage or over through the network. The Jetpack Compo is Android model toolkit for building native UI, which simplifies the accelerate UI development on Android. In Kotlin KTX, the KTX extensions provide concise idiomatic Kotlin to Jetpack Android platform than other APIs. For example, the extension functions, lambdas, name parameters, Kotlin, coroutine. So, and then the new extension function in 2020 is would be Playcore and Google Map. So these make using your existing APIs more Kotlin idiomatic way. And more nullable annotation to make sure your calls to those API safer. At the same time, developers' productivity always comes from the great tooling such as Kotlin Live templates, which allows you to use the shorthand common Android constructs to your Kotlin app. And then Kotlin specific links checks can help you make Kotlin code more language idiomatic. This is especially useful as you transitioning from like Java programming language from Java to Kotlin. Looking at the compiler to chain R8 or Shrinker 2 contains new Kotlin specific optimizations. For example, eliminating index checks when it can prove that the whole app doesn't need them. And Kotlin metadata rewriting that allows the compiler to recognize, and which means extension function and suspend function which don't exist natively in Java virtual machine. The materials to help you learn Kotlin are expanding. There are Kotlin vocabulary is a YouTube series that explains specific Kotlin keywords in each one of video, and then better to check it out. Looking at the documentation on Kotlin page, developer.android.com/Kotlin, you can see all of the latest code labs and guidance for getting started with Kotlin. Kotlin everywhere, the program ran together, Google ran together with JetBrains, and then the other Kotlin enthusiasts and reach over 13K developers. And okay, Kotlin code look like. Kotlin is a modern programming language, and it has many features that aid productivity. Here, the Kotlin supports nullability in the type system to help you avoid null pointer exception at runtime. And then the shorter syntax through the lambdas make code more concise and readable. And then the semicolons in Kotlin, semicolons are optional. And you can use a string template. Expressions in string to avoid concatenation. So in this example, the call is made as part of a template expression, which is combined and chair alternated to string format with an elegant sentence. The last highlights of this example shows using property to provide a level or abstractions over getter setters. The language helps developer more productive and make them happier. So Google is expanding its own use of Kotlin, both on their Android apps as well as on the server. So Google is working closely with JetBrains to make sure the language and tools even more better and better. Since Kotlin 1.4 brings many enhancements. Coroutine is a recommended way of doing asynchronous programming on Android for Kotlin developers. It's provide a stretcher, easy way, and less error-prone way to do many synchronous, asynchronous tasks that Android developer need to code all the time. For those new to Kotlin, the Google continuously expanding documentation, the code and video help you to get started easily. Kotlin tooling performance. So these new features help you help with the productivity for sure. The biggest things that will help your productivity is tooling performance. Let's check it out more. In Kotlin, Gradle plugin to make sure annotation process are more incremental, as well as helping annotation processor order make their annotation processor ready for incremented runs. And then the IDE performance. Google and JetBrains teams have been organizing, combining the performance hackathons for like more numerous improvement in Kotlin. Can see for like lots of improvements in Kotlin started 1.3.60 and above for the performance issues. On the Gradle side, Google working with the graded inks to make the dramatic changes to its model for incremental compilation and project and instant execution. So the combined with additional caching for faster up-to-date checks, and now we can see the 30% of improvement in controlling experiment. KSP. Many Kotlin builds are significantly slowed down by annotation processor. So, and we can avoid after Kotlin version 1.3.0. And many developers like us illiterate on and deploy app dozens of times a day. Having to sit around waiting for a slow beat can be every time consuming. One of the biggest challenges with compiling Kotlin code is that Kotlin doesn't have a native annotation processing systems. So the reason why Google announced Kotlin symbol processing on the February 10th of February 21. This new tool will help you lightweight compiler plugins in Kotlin. So it's up to like 2 times faster. So you need to it's compiled with the Kotlin version 1.4.3. So March 5th, they announced Kotlin 1.5.0. So you can check it out for new features. So this is our Kotlin 1.4 overview. Kotlin 1.4 available through the early access preview program and brings many improvements. For the compiler side, include language additionals, type inference improvement, and generator annotation in bytecode of Java 8 target. For the library side, they brings common reflection API and program configuration for Kotlin reflection and new contracts. From an early point, the Kotlin has supports single abstract method conversation for interface defined in the Java programming language. So the Kotlin supports higher order function natively. And in here, it does not support for this Kotlin interface. The notion of fan interface, the instance of like fan interface can be created using lambda syntax, and then that feature will make exposing Kotlin APIs and Java consumer even easier. I want to showcase in like small addition to the language that this one also powerful. The parameter list not allowed to have a training comma for the last element, and 1.4 remove this restriction by allowing the training comma. The code look more symmetric and it will cause fewer distractions in code review, and adding new entires will no longer highlight multiple change lines. This new feature help with the productivity for sure. And Google deprecated the asyntax classes started at Android 11. It's been an API with fair problem to begin with, so what should we use? Instance. Well, developers has tuned to various custom solutions, including direct higher level libraries such as like RJava. And with Kotlin, there is one more content. So this is Coroutine. Coroutines are the Kotlin way for doing asynchronous programming with the full support in the language in the library version since 1.3. Here you will see a small example using the coroutine to perform an asynchronous call to receive server-side data. And then followed by asynchronous code to store the data in the local database. And followed by a UI update. The coroutine code is executed in a scope. In Android, we have libraries to tie the lifetime of these calls into the Android lifecycles. Dispatchers.io. These features allow you to schedule execution from network and database access on the I/O background thread. Async network calls can be made through library like retrofit that supports coroutines out of the box. And in here, I'm using run coroutine supposed to store the data on the device without blocking the UI thread. Firstly, I pass a value into the view model could be displayed in the UI. With all these asynchronous steps, the IDE clues you on an asynchronous behavior with the icon on the left side into your code. So nowadays, the Google officially recommending coroutine as the standard way to use synchronous programming in Kotlin. So if you haven't used it yet, and you are struggling with any text in other reason to take the closer to look at Kotlin. So in why Kotlin? You might wonder why so many developers choose to pick Coroutines as their synchronous solution and why the Google recommend uh, on the official document. Coroutines are particularly good fit for mobile applications running on Android. And structured concurrency helps developers scope that work through the application lifecycle and prevent minor leaks. And callback-free code is easier to read and less error-prone. While building supports for cancellation and natural exception handling help ensure the error classes is treated gracefully. Many of APIs already support using coroutines. To enter the world of coroutines, um, Google created special make coroutine scope that allow you to run asynchronous inside your models and writing this scope. You can make you can use coroutine support in various Java libraries. For example, the Android ROM library, which provides structured database access. You can easily access database without blocking the main thread through coroutines. And for the longer running tests, uh, are more often modeled through job inside called Work Manager. With the coroutine worker, you can easily model job cancellation. And um, some of the new library, it's a Paging 3.0. And then the Jetpack new Compose API is heavily relying on the coroutine. So what does this recommendation mean for Java user and people who have been adopt other higher level asynchronous programming library? The great thing about the Coroutine library is that it's make the entire possible to write interest support for both libraries. For example, Paging will ship with the RA Java, and then the listenable future compatible APIs. Conversely, for libraries that have not yet adopted coroutines, you can use many third-party adapters, such as when the Converter text-based API from Google Play Service to coroutine suspend calls. So here is some of the resources from you can check it out on the developer.android.kotlin page. So
Seems that we don't have a question, but we have a comment here. I use RX. Well, what do you think of RX Javas with versus coroutines like?
Of course, I also use RA Java before, exactly in 2018. After the Google started introduce Kotlin coroutine, then I started study. So Kotlin coroutine is a bit more easier for us developer. It's more readable, and especially Kotlin flow. So it's like more readable, more easyable. In RA Java you have to decide it's a observable or flow level or something like that. So you maybe have like you may need to stick that for the learning curve. So it's like what's the flow level, how like the observable works, something like that. In coroutine, you don't need to know. In flow, you just say emit whatever you want, something like
Right.
that. So yeah. So I personally the Kotlin coroutine is like the compared to their performance, it's also same. So yeah.
Yeah, but I think the only drawback is that we can only use coroutines in Kotlin code. Is that right?
Uh,
So
coroutine,
if
right?
we have like Java code, we cannot use coroutines, right?
Of course, coroutine is like Kotlin supports library, so you cannot use in Java project. But nowadays, all of the projects are going to the multi-platform. So you maybe choose the Kotlin language lah. For those case, you cannot use
Correct.
R Java. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, we have one question here. What do you like about the new Kotlin release?
Oh, I just check it out. It was released on the May. It was yesterday. So it's like I saw the loss of like I just read through and saw the loss of performance, and then the bit time speed up. Yeah. So for those things, you better do like read it on more the like document. I also haven't explored it yet.
Yeah, it's so new, right?